All right, hey everybody, Alex here with something a little different today. As you can see, there are no baseball cards in sight. Instead, I've got a bunch of currency. I've got some coins and I've got some bills. So what happened was, over the summer when I went back to visit my childhood home and I found all my old baseball cards, I also came across a whole bunch of old coins that I had collected over the years, and I had my dad ship those to me. So I got those and hadn't really collected coins in quite a long time, really in a decade or so. You know, we're all collectors, and Rob, Parkside LI88, was talking about this the other day. He's collecting comic books. We all have this itch where we got to collect stuff. You know, mine right now is obviously the 1953 Bowman Colors, but wanted to share these with you guys. Before I do though, I also wanted to share this box, this wooden box back here. So when I got the coins and I started getting all these plastic holders for them, I was like, I gotta get some kind of box for all this stuff to live in. I didn't have anything. So I went online and I bought this old wooden box that looked like it was the right size, but the finish was in really sad shape. So I decided to go pick up some stripping and refinishing materials and go ahead and try to restore the look of the box. So first off, obviously just removing all of the hardware from the box and taking the lid off. I probably should have taken the whole box apart, but I didn't want to risk damaging it. So this is me stripping off the original stain. You can see it's just eating away at it. And finally, it takes like an hour or two. When I started scraping it, it just came off. It felt like maple syrup. It just came right off. So this is me putting the preconditioner on, which is supposed to help the stain look a little more even when you're done. And then here's the very first stain that I applied. So you put the stain on, the longer the stain is on, the darker it gets. So this is me wiping it all off. I did 2 coats. One thing I would have done differently is I really needed a workbench. I did this inside and I laid out some newspaper, and I really should have had a workbench to do this on and not messed with the newsprint. It worked out okay. I wish I had a better work area to do this in. Once I got started though, it moved pretty quickly. So this is maybe a day later, and I'm finally putting on the polyurethane. This was a satin finish. One thing to be careful of if you ever end up doing something like this, I wasn't paying attention when I grabbed the cans initially, but you want to have your stain and your polyurethane match, whether they're water-based or oil-based. I mistakenly grabbed a water-based polyurethane. Fortunately, I noticed before I actually started applying anything, so I was able to pick up the right kind and return the other one, but rookie mistake. So here's the final product. A day or so later, after everything's dried, I cleaned up the hardware and put everything back on. I'm pretty happy with it. Not gonna say it's the best job ever, but not too bad for my first attempt. Definitely something I look forward to trying again in the future. Alright, so I'm sure you guys were not expecting a how-to video. In no way am I claiming to be an expert. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that I would do differently, as I said. But nevertheless, it was a lot of fun. So, without further ado, because I've really wasted a lot of time so far, let's look at some coins here, shall we? So I pulled out a few examples of different denominations and different eras. So this is... see if I can get this to focus a little better. This is, I believe, a Barber nickel. And you can see there, it's the year is 1883. Here's the back. Beautiful coin. This is our friend Mr. Lincoln, of course, a Lincoln penny, but this is a 1909, the very first year of the Lincoln penny. And of course, the backs of these did not have the Lincoln Memorial. They had these little bits of wheat. These are called wheat pennies. I used to know a ton about coins, and I remember a little bit here and there, but there's a lot that, just like baseball cards, there's a ton to know, right? So here's an Indian head penny, 1862, right in the middle of the Civil War. And just for fun, this is an old New York Central subway token. Good for one fare. New York City Transit Authority. Not sure exactly what era this would be. I don't know, maybe 50s, 60s, not sure, not up on that, but I had a handful of these that I got somewhere, somehow, so there's one of those. Roosevelt dime, 1964. I think 1964 is, if I remember correctly, that's the very last year that coins were minted in silver. So this is a silver Roosevelt dime. Of course, you guys know nowadays if you even have coins, because I rarely have bills and coins now, it's just all debit card, right? They're usually just, they feel like Monopoly money, they feel like play money, like plastic, but these things have weight to them and they have a distinct sound. This is definitely one of my favorite coins in terms of the design. This is a Mercury dime. This is from 1942. Definitely feels, you know, like it's from that era in terms of the design. So this was the dime right before Roosevelt. Really beautiful design overall. So before that, this is the Barber dime. And let's see, that says 1892. You can see that any design or any detail that was in his face has been rubbed off. One dime. And here's a more familiar one, the Jefferson nickel. This is a 43. And another one of my favorite designs, the Buffalo nickel, 1937. Really beautiful depiction. There's the buffalo on the back. Hard to find these in good condition because the surface gets rubbed off, so that all the features of his face will often get distorted, but this one's pretty good. All right, so moving on, let's see what else we got. About some quarters. Washington quarter, this is 1941, so this is silver. You can see it's kind of in rough shape. Before that is this quarter. This is from 1927. This is called a Standing Liberty. Again, because of so many of the details being close to the surface, they all get rubbed off. So there used to be a face and all kinds of detail in here, but after years of, you know, being in people's pockets and getting handled, it all gets rubbed away. What's this? This is a Barber $50, 1915. Looking really Roman. Lots of wear on this one. And here's another one of my absolutely favorite designs of all of the coins. This is called the Walking Liberty $50. This is from 1942. Really a stunning design, I think. Hard to beat that one. Here's the very first Kennedy, 1964, so right after, a year after his assassination. And Benjamin Franklin $50, 1957. Back of that one's kind of rough. Okay, and so here are some dollars. This is a Morgan silver dollar, 1873, or 78, sorry, 1878. This is, if you're watching like a Western and you see, you know, somebody come into a saloon and flip a coin on the bar, it's probably this coin. Here's another amazing design. I'm telling you what, we were doing our best work design-wise as a country in the, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Just amazing. This is a peace dollar right after World War I. So 1922. Look at that back. Just gorgeous. See down here it says peace. Really beautiful. And then, so there's a bunch more, obviously, in these little rows. Other coins that I've collected, much of the same stuff. And then back here, I've got all these tubes. These are just wheat pennies. These are just Lincoln pennies from, you know, all the way from 1909 to, say, I don't know, 1950s, 1960s, somewhere in there. That I just would put aside, that I'd find in my pockets, in my change over the years. Just kind of stored them up in there. These are some old Roosevelt dimes that are actually silver, and may not sound that different to you guys, but if you ever get to handle silver coins in person, you'll notice a difference compared to our plastic money of today. And then these are some nickels. I almost forgot about my bills. So these are some old bills that I've got. This is from, let's see, 1957. Another 1957. This is a 95. I put this aside for some reason. I can't remember why. Here's a 1963. Here's a $2 bill, 1976. I have a few of these. Yep. Here's a $5 bill, 1953. $1934. This is a silver certificate. So you could, I guess, you could turn this in and trade it in for the amount of silver that it was worth. Here's a $10 bill, 1934. Here's a $50 bill, 1950. And there's this is some kind of silver certificate of some kind. Anyway, so just something a little different I wanted to share with you guys. Hope that was interesting. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Talk to you all soon.